Reviews are often done after only using a product for a few days, maybe even a few weeks. I've owned my espresso machine, the Lelit Bianca, for exactly 1 year.
Such a long time.
And in that time, I've often asked myself the question, would I do it all over again? Do I wish I had bought that instead? I mean, is an espresso machine really worth that much money? Or I wish I knew the truth about buying an espresso machine before buying this one. Welcome back, coffee sippers. Your friend Kyle Rowsell here, and as you know, I want to help you brew better coffee at home, and today I want to help you in your pursuit of an espresso machine. If you're new around here, consider tamping that subscribe button and purging that like button if you're into that sort of thing. Today we're talking about espresso machines, my experience with them, but more specifically my machine, the Lelit Bianca. Now this is not really a review at all. I did that already. This is a conversation about what I wish I knew. The truth about owning this machine for 1 year, and would I do it all over again? So the quick answer to that is yeah. The Lelit Bianca is a fantastic espresso machine, and I believe it offers outstanding value, but that doesn't mean it's perfect. There's a lot to talk about today. We're gonna get to the things I wish I knew, but first, let's talk about what I like and even love about the Bianca. Number one, it brews fantastic espresso, hands down. The Bianca has created some of the best espresso I've ever tasted. If you want a machine that'll brew fantastic espresso, the Bianca's it. It's great. I've never gone to a cafe and thought, man, this machine brews better coffee than what I can at home. The Bianca brews and delivers in its ability to make fantastic coffee, which leads into the second reason why I love this machine, and that's its flow profiling paddle. Now, I've gone into depth of what this does in my review, which I'll link above right here if you haven't yet watched that. But flow profiling is fantastic. It's a game changer for brewing espresso, period. It allows me to really extract coffee in a completely different way and get experimental, but it also saves my butt when I haven't fully dialed in a coffee and I don't want to have to dump shots. It allows me to get a decent coffee out of a shot that would have normally been complete trash. It really is fun to play with. Honestly, it's actually made brewing espresso a little bit easier, which I never thought that would be the case, but it really is something that I love and I don't know if I could live without. The third reason why I love the Bianca is she is fine. I think the Bianca is a fantastic looking machine, but this is subjective. So in the comments, let me know, do you agree with me? Do you think the Bianca is a good looking machine? And if you don't agree, that's totally cool. The fact that this comes with walnut out of the box is awesome. It just separates it from everything else on the market. Yes, you can get machines with wood accents, but you always have to pay extra for that. With this machine, you don't. You simply just get it. I also believe the Bianca offers a lot of value. Yes, it is expensive, but compared to the market, I think it offers more than most other options for the price. If you compare it to any other E61 dual boiler on the market, I think it rises above in terms of the value that it offers and what it's including in the box, which leads to my next point. It comes with fantastic accessories out of the box.
Accessories sold separately, batteries not included.
I've never seen a machine like this where it comes with this stuff without an extra charge. A 58.5mm tamper out of the box that's actually pretty great is something you just don't see. And I think that's something to be celebrated. Again, the walnut touches out of the box and other little features that it just comes with. You don't have to pay extra for. Value, fantastic accessories. It's something that I've always appreciated about this machine. So I've used this machine every day for about 365 days. And on average, I'm pulling about 2 to 5 shots a day between my wife and I. And in this time, there are some things that I've realized I wish I had known before buying this machine. So let me share with you some of my experiences. And keep in mind, others may not have experienced these same things. I'll start with the small annoyances and save the worst for last. The first thing, the drip tray rattles. In fact, it's literally rattling right now as I shake this table. It has little rubbers that hold the drip tray in place. And over the course of time, those little rubbers have actually gotten lost. Now that's just because I washed the drip tray, and so you might not ever experience this, but I'm pretty careful with my machines, and so is my wife, and we've still lost those little rubbers. Now I could probably purchase those again, but it's just annoying that I have to do that. Anytime there's movement or when the machine's on, it does make rattling noises. For a machine this expensive, that's annoying. The other reality with the drip tray is when it gets too full, it leaks. Now this might only be my machine, but it seems like the welds inside the drip tray have small gaps in certain areas. So when it gets very full, it goes all over my bar. Now don't get me wrong, the build quality is excellent, but you can see there are certain areas where Lelit has cut corners. Things like the drip tray, you can see there's different thinner metals on this machine than other machines. I've owned an ECM Mechanica in the past and it felt like a tank to use, where the Bianca feels very heavy duty, but you can tell that the sheet metal that they use is very thin compared to other machines on the market. Now, don't get me wrong, this is not a reason not to purchase this machine, but I just had wished I'd known these things before buying this machine. Again, don't hear me wrong, the quality is very high. I'm comparing it to other machines on the market, and some of those are more expensive. The Lelit Control Center, or the LCC, has fantastic features, but it feels outdated in its design. And maybe I'm nitpicking here, but the screen feels small and hard to navigate at times. And I've gotten used to it, but I wouldn't want my mother-in-law to have to learn this machine. Something that's really bothered me about this machine, all E61 machines in fact, maybe all espresso machines in general, is the constant cleanup that's required. When using it, it spits coffee all over the front fascia and you gotta keep it clean. Especially for me who's taking pictures for Instagram and making YouTube videos, I find I'm cleaning my machine every 2 or 3 days extensively. But especially when using a bottomless portafilter, I find it's just messy. Maybe I don't have to use the bottomless portafilter, but it's just really annoying at times the amount of cleanup that's required for this machine.
It's clean!
Again, this might be for all espresso machines, I'm nitpicking here. Now, something to keep in mind with the Bianca as well is parts are not easy to come by. My friend actually purchased a Bianca a few months ago, and when he received it, the flow profiling paddle wasn't working properly. He reached out to the retailer that he purchased it from, and they were happy to help him in that. But the problem was they only had a certain part in stock, and they didn't have the part that he needed. And he had to go through loops to make sure that he could get his machine up and working again. He ended up getting it resolved and they were great in the process, but the reality was it took weeks for him to get his machine up and running again. Whereas a machine like a La Marzocco, that might not be an issue because parts are more available. So something to think about with Lelit, they are a newer brand in espresso. This might be less of an issue years down the road, but currently if you do have problems with your Lelit, depending on who you buy it from, it might be hard to fix, it might be hard to get parts for. So in the process of purchasing your Lelit, make sure you're buying it from a place that can service it and service it fairly quickly. But in the case that you do need something fixed, it's nice to know when parts are available so you don't have to be without a machine for months on end. And lastly, and this one's probably the most annoying, the brew boiler can be a bit small when brewing more than 2 back-to-back shots. And this is an issue at times. When company is over, we've made up to 10 shots at a time, sometimes having to wait 3 to 4 minutes for the boiler to reheat. Now I knew going into this machine that didn't have a large brew boiler, thought that the brew boiler would heat up the water quicker than it does. It's actually not that quick. And that's a reality of a dual boiler because it's heating up the steam boiler as well as the brew boiler. If you're brewing coffee for a lot of people at a time, it was a little annoying to know I've spent so much money on an espresso machine and sometimes I still had to wait minutes on end to brew back-to-back shots. So in conclusion, if I could turn back the clock, yes, I would purchase the Lelit Bianca again, but there are some things I would consider. Number 1, if my budget was different, would I purchase it again? Maybe not. I think a machine like the Bianca is incredible, but every time I see the Linea Mini, I wonder if that would have been a better machine for us due to the brew boiler design and the capacity to brew back-to-back shots without any problems, not to mention aesthetics. Not saying that I would, but it would be a tougher decision if I had to make it again. Number 2, would I spend this much money on an espresso machine again? While I love having cafe quality espresso at my fingertips, sometimes I do wish I had less stuff. Maybe my future coffee bar will look a little less crowded.
It hurts so much!
Maybe it'll look more crowded. If you're in the market for the Bianca, I would say that knowing this information, you likely won't regret your purchase. The Bianca is a fantastic espresso machine, and I'm sure it'll last a long time, and you'll love it. After 1 year, I love it. So while I did share stuff that I didn't love about the Bianca, know that I love using this machine every single day, and it would be really hard to change to another espresso machine. I'm nitpicking in this video. I do love it. 1 year into this machine, I've had no issues. This video is not sponsored. Lelit doesn't know I'm even making this video. I purchased this with my own money, which a lot of you in my review thought that I was paid by them. No, I was learning this whole YouTube thing and I scripted that one, so don't hate me. But this video is a complete unbiased review. I purchased this machine. If you want more videos on the Lelit Bianca, be sure to like this video down below. It really does help this video out and helps this channel. and be sure to comment down below what you think of the Lelit Bianca. Be sure to subscribe to this channel. I would love for you to join along and turn on that notification bell so that you don't miss any new videos that come out. In the meantime, continue to brew great coffee and continue to brew at home. Peace! We'll see you guys next time.